Alright, so I'm going to introduce how to build floors and walls. They're relatively easy. The only question is when you want to make them customized. So what you're going to do is you're going to go under architectural for floors and hit floors. And you can see you already have, a certain amount of floors that are kind of already available to you. What we're going to use, so we'll just use this 12-inch generic just so you kind of can see how things work. So what you're going to do is under modify, you can see you have a series of tools, and these tools are pretty important as far as how you can create shapes. But essentially, if you're just doing a rectangle, you can just kind of bam, and it's done as long as your dimensions are correct. If you want to if you're making something very customized, you can change that shape and add lines to it. And you can see that things are kind of snapping together. It wants to have a closed polyline. So it kind of helps you do that. If you happen to kind of not have something closed and you hit this checkbox, you're going to get this error message. Lines cannot intersect each other. So it's telling you that things aren't quite tidy. So then you tidy it up. You can also make, if you have very specific needs, you can add other shapes. You can have splines. Something of this nature. Of course, again, we want to clean up the geometry so that we can actually hit the checkbox. So it's pretty extraordinary, kind of all the things that you can do just with the floor tool. Some last things, so you can just kind of see what's going on, is if you are cutting a hole in that same piece, and now I've got this just the way I want it. Now I'm going to edit the boundary, and I can add. Now the 3D view is probably not my best move as far as adding something, so I'm going to go back to level 1. If I want to add an opening, say, then all I would have to do is, obviously create the correct opening and click that. So if it has basically a closed polyline and then inside of that another closed polyline, it knows that that is what it's going to actually remove. So if we look that in 3 dimensions, you can see. So that's the kind of beginning of how to build floors.